supposedly woke rapper who does mainstream numbers and yet somehow falls short of his full potential with nearly every release. Half of the time, all he's doing is just reminding me of other rappers. I did not care for the sound, the style, the production of this at all. Really from the start of it. Fails to pass the expectations test. And I don't mean merely my expectations or the expectations that his audience puts on him by hyping him up. I mean the actual expectations he puts on his own tracks, with the song titles, with the album cover, with the messaging and the hook. When you go back and dwell on that track, the lyrics in that track, and just the sentiment and the subject matter of that track, isn't the whole thing just ever so slightly pathetic? Truthfully, it's one of the most hideous sounding songs on the entire record. It's to the point where it was really, like, making me mad. I couldn't handle the irony of the track. He's rapping all over that song about how other rappers are ripping off his style and about how there's no innovation in the game. How can you say that when at the end of almost every one of your lines you're doing this Kanye West growl? The dude is turning into Drake, but it's not even good, introspective, deep, dark, sad Drake today. This is like mixtape Drake, except the hooks, singing, and beats do not pop. And then there is the reputation as this mega woke lyrical miracle with this laser-focused intensity on whatever song topic or profound truth that he's dropping in a song, when in actuality he's never truly been that, at least not for longer than a song or two. Really the worst track on the record, not just because of the obvious statements and filler lyrics. We know that. We know that the right thing is better than the wrong thing. That's like saying the sky is blue. But really on this track there has to be a handful of like sort of cringy bars worked into the track.
7-Eleven was an inside job.
You should know by now that I find this track to be a little boring and pretty patronizing and tone policey and gross. It's like Waka Flocka Flame, your ghostwriter. Not to mention that you could probably start a drinking game with this album, or not to mention the subpar singing. The record just kind of all of a sudden just buries its face into a frilly pastel pillow so that it can start moaning these really weak, melodic, just go nowhere songs. This album was just bland, nothing stuck out to me. The really muddy, distorted, kind of colorless production. And come on, if you've heard that song, let's admit it. That is a throwaway from Watch the Throne. He's not seeing that his efforts are just merely building up to be footprints that are going to get washed away in the waves. I don't know, I just have a hard time justifying any kind of excitement for a mixtape like this. A guy who has a mid to high level of technical ability, not a whole lot in terms of an original sound, obviously ripping off ideas left and right from his contemporaries, not a whole lot in the way of focused song ideas or themes or concepts, not a whole lot in terms of quotable one-liners or jokes or bits of wordplay, and yet he has amassed this audience that just seems addicted to his mediocrity. In a way, I guess you gotta give it to the guy, because he's supremely good at taking better hip-hop, pulling anything subversive out of it, and refining it down for audiences that don't have the framework to understand why he's at a far lower creative tier than his contemporaries who he blatantly rips off. This thing is 14 tracks, well over an hour, much longer than I would want to be listening to. The lyrics on this album are insipid, they're trite, they're disgusting, they're straight trash. He critiques himself afterwards saying, oh, do I sound like shit? It doesn't even matter because I'm killing this shit. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it kind of does matter. It doesn't sound all that great at this moment in the song, and maybe just do better in the future, I suppose. He reeks of his contemporary. Put effort into everything aside from making his own style, his own lyrics, his own voice. It's got a decent instrumental. It has an okay flow, but do not be fooled, everyone, okay? This is a bad, corny PSA masquerading as a rap song, okay? That's actually what it is. I can't even describe it. I feel like this record I feel like this album comes out of a simulation. If I took 100 records that sound just like this and fed them into a computer and then said, "Computer, make an album that sounds exactly like this." This thing, man, it's ordinary, painfully dumb lyrics, ordinary instrumentals that have kind of a very atmospheric, kind of moody, dark trap flavor to them, but they're really skeletal. Half of them sound like demos. And his vocals are so passionless and flat and average. They're so average in every way, shape, and form. And the vocal effects they put on his voice throughout this album leave him sounding like just a cold, emotionless robot. He is unique in that he literally has so little going for him artistically speaking. He's like so devoid of anything interesting going on in his music. It's actually kind of shocking. I think is really distilled on this LP, where production boring, vocals soulless, bars hilariously bad, every song sounds nearly the same. It's so one-dimensional, it's so one note, it's so just like robotic. I just don't even feel like I'm listening to a human. It sounds like it's generated by artificial intelligence, honestly. You know, I'm not really excited to hear this. I feel like this features list is sort of tone deaf. It's a lot like picking Tim Kaine as your vice president. Nobody's really excited to see it. This obviously was not an album I was expecting. Had I been expecting it, I would not have been looking forward to it. There are some songs on those older albums that even today when I return to them, I cringe a little bit inside. This album's bad. It's really bad. Some of his cringiest and worst bars ever turn up on this LP. Some of the worst production he's been on too. It's like he doesn't even give a shit about how his beats sound anymore. Features generally on this thing, terrible. Ex-ambassadors, Jesus Christ. And some of his worst song topics too. And it's just so goddamn long. The negativity that he is getting is just kind of a reflection of all the negativity that he's put out into the world over the course of his career. Sitting at 9.1 above every other hip-hop album ever, as if, yes, by user score, it was the greatest hip-hop record of all time, which I don't even know if the most delusional fan thinks that. This record is so annoying. Responding to his critics with some pretty half-assed, lazy, and boring arguments like, "I'm an artist, you guys aren't artists, you'll never be artists." I sympathize with the position that he's in, because I'm certainly sure it feels like that he can't do anything right. But so far it does not really feel like he's doing anything right. He's telling it like it is. He's telling everybody off. Whoever dissed him or said a bad thing about his music, man, he's taking them all to task. Like, you're one of the biggest selling artists of all time. You have everything at your disposal to make a great record, and yet you have songs on this thing that sound like demos.